Oh, it's impressive. This is as impressive as I have seen a thing since the University of Miami, and they had that run of great players that end up being great pros. Saban has it going. He's got it going on down there in Alabama. He's got the tide rolling, and that's through recruiting, not just blue-chip players, five-star players, but he's been able to replace key staff members, that being offense and defensive coordinator, Kirby Smart, who was the heir apparent. He was going to take over. If Saban left Alabama, Kirby Smart was going to be the heir apparent and take that job. He left, ended up going back to his alma mater in Georgia and taking that job. So seeing him replace people like Lane Kiffin, seeing him replace Sark year after year, losing coaches, and they lost 12 players in this year's NFL draft. So what Nick Saban done is very, very impressive. Maybe only one run the last 30 years I've seen more impressive, and that's what Miami did.
Listen, since 2009, every single season that has been played in college football, Alabama has either started as the #1 or ended as the #1, and a few seasons both.
Wow. Except
for 2014, when they started as #2, and Ohio State and Zeke Elliott beat them in the. Actually, I'm sorry. The year after that, that was the year they lost in the Sugar Bowl to I think the Oklahoma that season. But every year but one, they at least start as #1 or end as #1. I had gotten a little. I don't love dynasties in college sports because you can't attach a player to it. But the last few years, even though Alabama's been just as dominant, because there has been the intrigue because of the playoff and because Clemson almost beat them, then did beat them. It looked like Georgia had them beat, and then they end up coming back. It doesn't feel like it's a foregone conclusion, right? It feels like there is, as great as Alabama is, it feels like they can be beaten, and the playoff adds to that. It's unbelievable. People get jealous of it. They get upset about it. But they say, he gets like 30 first-round picks every year. Well, that's available to everyone, technically. Theoretically, anybody could have the recruiting success Nick Saban does. Theoretically,
what
only
people
Nick Saban
don't give
does.
Nick Saban credit for, he's the best developer of talent in college football. Is he the best college recruiter? Yes, he's that. Do they have the best facilities? Yes, they do have that. But Nick Saban does not get a 5-star and that kid turns out to be a 3 or 4-star. If the ability's there, Nick will get the best out of that ability. So a lot of times we don't give Coach enough credit for developing that talent that he does
for
have.
Developing sort of how his season goes. Any other team, you have 2 starting quarterbacks. That's not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes you have issues with it. Nick Saban is the kind of coach that can turn that into a very, very good thing. He takes all the sort of personal feelings out of it and just treats it as sort of, this is who's going to go in. And we've heard that because he didn't even talk to Jalen Hurts this entire time, sort of leading up to it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can necessarily agree with that one. He's trying to be a little tricky, trying to play a little dirty pool on this one. He could botch this one up because
You think he can?
Oh, there's no doubt. He's already actually messed it up because not communicating with Jalen is kind of hurt Jalen. Jalen deserves a little communication as far as starting 2 years for Alabama and what he's done with that institution.
But you would say he maybe didn't botch it because Hurts hasn't left yet. I think the assumption was that he might leave, and now he's got both his guys there heading into the season.
Well, if you're looking at it from the coach's perspective, yeah, it's great for him. It's not great for the kid. All right, so Saban has not done this kid any favors by not naming the starter. I would be shocked if Tua is not the starter in week #1.
Right, so like that is, I think to your point, Jenna, that he is maybe doing anything and everything to give Alabama the best chance to win another national championship. I think from afar, I look at it and say, Alabama going to be the favorite whether Jalen Hurts is there or not. Like, barring an injury to Tua, he's not doing right by the player. But listen, you don't get to where Nick Saban is by always being the nice guy. Like, we're focused on Jalen Hurts because he has accomplished so much. We feel like he deserved a conversation, an honest conversation. But how many kids at Alabama think they have a scholarship and then don't because a different recruit that they didn't think was coming over then decides to come over? Like, we have guys at these programs, and Alabama's at the top of the list, where for some people it is a great story of success, of getting an education, of winning. And for some guys it's, man, I wish I hadn't gone there. I didn't get to play. I got misled like that. But that's not just a Nick Saban thing. That is top-level college football throughout the programs.
Yes.
So then what is it about him that makes kids want to go play for him, knowing that the competition is going to be high, knowing there's a chance that all this could happen? Because is it him or is it the
well, these things are
program?
true about Nick Saban. Nick Saban's a tremendous teacher of football. He is on the field teaching a position or multiple positions every single day. He is not just a CEO. He is not just a CFO. He runs that program. Their facilities are state of the art. How they take care of the players, the accommodations, the food, the different specialists that he has them seeing. If they have some type of reading issue, if they have anxiety issues, might be potentially be bipolar. All these things, Nick Saban is wired in. He will hire the best of the best. And what he challenges the athletes to do is test your ability against the other great athletes in the country. All right? Come to Alabama and let me mold you into a great football player, into a great man. And the other thing that Nick Saban will not get credit for, he graduates as high a rate of players as anyone in the league. He will get you your college degree. If you commit 4 or 5 years to Alabama, you might have 2 or 3 knee surgeries because those practices are very, very tough. But Nick Saban, he will develop you and he will get your college education.
And the coaching and therefore also the recruiting is why Alabama can lose 8 of their 11 starters from last year to this year, and they are consensus top 3 defense. 8 of their 11 defensive starters, I should say. Mm-hmm. They only have 3 returning defensive starters. Nobody doubts how great the defense is going to be because 5 stars are going to be
they will definitely be a top
stars.
10 defense.
No.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.